Hi, welcome to the 2021 South 71 Sling Recreation Park Course Preview. My name is John Wildman, Tournament Director.
And I'm Clayton Smith. I'm the co-tournament director.
All right, we're going to start in with a couple of our sponsors right here. Big Rip Brewing, if you guys ever get the chance to get up just north of the river in Kansas City. Spectacular beer, great environment, great people. You might see somebody that works for them playing this weekend. Steph Rupp, incredible human being. Go to her for any of your web design, graphic design, photography. Could not recommend her more for any of your creative endeavors. If you're trying to get online, she is absolutely your lady. And then finally, Paradise Bar and Grill, located in Belton. Incredible place, wonderful place. I mean, the beer is cold. The folks are incredibly friendly. The staff is great. I had a great time when I went in. I would highly recommend it to anybody showing up. As a bit of a disclaimer, it is cold and wet the day we filmed this. It will not be cold and wet the day we play this. So just keep that in mind. And a special shout out to KC Ultimate for our tournament central sponsors. All right, hole one. Hole one, 318 feet, par three, nice and straightforward. This one's sponsored by the Mike and Susie Souter family. They have a special message to everybody. They want to remind everyone to enjoy your day and have fun. Pick it, grip it, and flick it. There's not much to say about this hole. There's OB left on the sidewalk. The sidewalk that bisects the hole is not OB. That sidewalk that you see long is out of bounds. It's just a nice, straightforward 318-foot shot.
Hole 2 at Recreation Park, 359-foot par 3. Another relatively straightforward hole. We've had some, since this was filmed, construction issues. The basket will be in this approximate position. They've dug up a lot of it, and it's going to be a little bit different from what's shown here.
We will be staking in a temporary basket if need be, so yeah. No worries.
Otherwise, pretty straightforward. Trees down the left-hand side, backhand hole.
All right, hole 3, 305 feet. This is going to be across the water. Once again, we're hopefully going to see a lot less construction here when this happens. This one is just a nice straight righty backhand hyzer shot. You do not need to worry about any sidewalks being out of bounds. The street that you see to the left and the pond is the only out of bounds you're going to need to worry about on this hole. There will be a drop zone on the left side of this hole if you go OB or if you choose to take your shot from that drop zone.
Hole 4 is a 221-foot par 3. Relatively short hole, mid-range. You got a lot of options here. We are potentially, most likely, going to have a little bit of a hay bale wall here just outside of the circle. Something to aim for. Not an island hole, no OB, nothing to be scared of there, but a little bit more of a challenge.
That man insisted on us filming his putts. He missed both. Hole 5, 348-foot par 3. All right, nice and straightforward. Again, the front nine of Raymore is very, very scoreable. What you're going to try to do if you're the old righty backhand is try and flex something up past this building, up on the right side that just fades right into the basket. That sidewalk to the left is out of bounds. So if you're going for a forehand play, you're going to need to be careful that you actually hyzer back in, or if you're a lefty, you're going to make sure that you get back into that tree line just in time to get into under this basket.
Hole 6 is a 287-foot par 3. Little bit of a gap shot right off the tee. You do have a little bit of OB right and long. Not that sidewalk, but the road and the parking lot way off to your right. Otherwise, a little bit of a downhill shot. Usually not a ton of wind over there. Casual right behind the basket there, that little ditch gully, but pretty straightforward.
All right, hole 7, 315 feet. Continuing our trend, it's another par 3. None of the sidewalk is out of bounds. The only out of bounds you're going to find is going to be the ball field, long and left, and then, of course, the pond off to the right. This one is a little bit tricky. You're probably going to want, if you're throwing once again that righty back, and you want something that sort of turns over just a little bit and fades into that green. It is uphill, so it's going to play a little wonky, and the wind is something to keep an eye out for.
Hole 8, 274-foot par 3 straight over the water. This one's brought to you by Carpet for Less. Another great hole sponsor we got. Yeah, you got to get it over the water. It's a little bit intimidating, but otherwise not too long of a hole. A couple of guardian trees right in front of the basket. OB only is in that water. There is a drop zone. Drop zone will give you, from the left side of the pond, 150 feet or so.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
Right, hole 9, 330 feet, par 3. That pole that you just saw on the left may end up being a Mando. It completely depends on whether or not we have teams playing out there on that ball field. We want to avoid hitting any youth with the disc. This first sidewalk that you see is not OB, so that is not a concern. This second sidewalk behind the basket is OB, so be careful with that. Also, make sure that you do not mistake the long practice basket for this hole. Aim for the one with the flag. Otherwise, once again, another straightforward hole 9.
Hole 10, 338 foot par 3. Shooting out of a gap. Your only OB on 10 is the sidewalk left. So you got to keep it to the right. More of a forehand shot. Plays downhill pretty much the whole way. That's your position there.
Be very careful with these trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that there's a lot of ninja branches, and we want to really emphasize how careful you need to be with these trees. So, just you gotta watch out. Those things will come out of nowhere. hole, hole 11 is a very short hole, 243 foot par 3, but it's going to break hard left into these trees. You're going to want something that hyzers in hard, whether it's that lefty forehand or that righty backhand, and you're going to need it to cut into these trees just a little bit. The skip play is going to be your absolute best bet. There is no out of bounds in this creek that you see long, so you don't need to worry about that, but it will absolutely eat your lunch if you end up having to putt from back there, so I would recommend avoiding that at all costs.
Yeah, super tricky putt. Hole 12 is a doozy. 420 foot. You got to shoot this gap right off the tee. Par 4. It's long. It's uphill the whole way. You got to throw it hard, yet still hit that gap, which is super fun. Sidewalk left is OB. Parking lot, if you're a monster and you throw your upshot 600 feet, is also OB. Otherwise, play it simple. You got 2 little trees there, not much to worry about.
The basket was not in this location when we filmed. I don't know who that man is. Hole 13 is a downhill 264 foot par 3. It looks longer than it is, so be careful with this one. Once again, you have a creek behind the basket that is not OB, but is once again an absolute disc eater. If there's water or mud in there at all, you really don't want to be in there. But at the same time, you need to get into these trees to have a quality putt at your birdie. You have a real decision to make on this hole off the tee.
Hole 14, 240 feet, par 3, sponsored by John Tebby. We call him Tebby, Tebby Bear. He's a super nice guy, active member of Cass County Disc Golf League. Super wooded hole. Technical. There's a line right, there's a line left. Take whatever comfortable shot you have and hope that it gets there.
Yeah, pray very hard. Tebby might also be sponsoring a CTP on this hole, so if that ends up happening, make sure you find him and thank him on the weekend of the tournament.
Thanks, Tebby.
Hole 15, 465 foot par 4. This is the long pad to the long basket. Some crazy bystanders that we had off to the side there. Ignore them. This is a nice straight shot down the gut. You're going to see a lot of logs and branches here. There was a storm clearly when we filmed this. So hopefully these will all be gone and cleared up. They should already be gone and cleared up when we film this, or when we record this audio now, so don't worry about that for the tournament.
We've got some leaves out there now, too.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. You're only going to see OB long here on that property line, so that we don't end up with any discs on the neighbor's field. And you're going to see the sidewalk eventually up to the left of the basket will also be OB.
Right.
Honestly,
here is your landing zone.
Right, you really want to come out of here and you want to leave yourself with a nice pitch-up hyzer shot for an easy 3. But it is a tough shot to get down there, especially from the long position. That initial gap is hard.
It's got to be dead straight, too. And low, driven. It's a tough hole. 16, on the other hand, pretty wide open. You've got a lot of options here. You can throw something wide, throw something hard. 443 foot, so a little bit longer for this course for a par 3, but again, back out in the open. Sidewalk left, it's pretty far left of the basket, is your OB there. If you go long, you've got 30 feet behind the basket.
Yeah, At most, and you can see the drone struggling with the wind here. That's going to be your biggest concern on this hole, is really
Yeah,
just the wind taking your disc.
yeah. Otherwise, though, keep your upshot in bounds and you're good.
Hole 17, this one's a fun one. You're going to be teeing off from an inbounds island. You will need to absolutely cross this sidewalk to the left to stay inbounds off the tee. There will be a drop zone further up on the sidewalk if you fail to do so. It shouldn't be difficult. It's only 304 feet. A nice stock hyzer shot right in here. Nice big gap. Lots of skip play available. But it's something that's going to get in your head and going to give you some concern.
And 17 was kind of a warm up for 18. 276, just a little bit shorter, but same thing. You got OB on your right. You got to throw it hard down this tree line. Your gap's a little bit smaller, a little bit more protected, and the basket's hidden back in there a little bit. Not a long shot, but it's really tough to get up there for a birdie look. Um, Otherwise, super fun hole. The wind is pretty much what you're showing here on the flag most of the times. It's kind of pushing you back out. It's easy to go straight long, so you got to pick something pretty stable if you're right hand backhand. Fun hole.
All right, that's it. That is all 18 holes for Recreation Park. If you haven't gone out and checked out our Cleveland Lake preview yet, make sure you go out and do so. It's going to be great as well. All 19 holes there. If you're competing this upcoming weekend for the tournament, good luck. Can't wait to see you out there. If you're watching this 3 years from now, I hope the course is even better than it is now. It's going to be a great weekend, spectacular. Make sure you check out all of our sponsors. They're the ones that are making this possible. They're letting us donate money out to the Belton course. They're letting us provide payouts that are well above and beyond what you're going to see from a C-Tier. Can't wait to see everybody out there. Just, it's
Have
going to be
fun.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody.